being a rumour that we're going to possibly getting a Smash game around the time of 2027 and 2028, I thought now would be a perfect opportunity to talk about what I want and what I predict for Smash 6. Now instead of doing two different videos, one with my wants and one with my predictions, I decided to combine them both together and decided to do it in a really fun and interesting way. You see, a while ago a YouTuber called PJiggles made his Smash 6 predictions bingo card, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit similar. And also, if you haven't checked that video out, I please recommend that you do. So what have I done? Well, I've made a 5x5 bingo grid, and I've put my predictions at the top, my wants at the bottom, and in the middle are things I both predict and want to be in the game. We'll be going in random order to keep things interesting here instead of going from top to bottom. So let's begin with a very easy one. I think we're definitely going to be seeing this new Donkey Kong design in the next Smash game, and it'd be cool if he comes with some new moveset from Bonanza. Maybe some just rock smashes, maybe the rock surf, or hell, even a Bonanza form as one of his final smashes. That'd be cool to see, and that's me locking in my first and probably my most easiest prediction. Going over to another prediction, which is also something I want to see happen. And that's, I want to see old fighters get revamped movesets. Now, I'm not asking these characters to completely have their movesets changed, but some new changes and slight tweaks to their movesets would be nice. Most Smash fighters just seem to reference their older counterparts from their games, and they never really change up that much to reference newer games. It'd be really cool to see Mario use Cappy as a forward smash, or use it as a form of recovery. Have Link have more of a wild arrow based moveset with a Bowser's Fury being used when he has charged up special or when he's on the ground. Daruk's Protection being a shield, and maybe some new moves from Tears of the Kingdom as well. Samus also gaining some psychic powers from Metroid Prime 4 will be interesting, and please give Sonic some new moves from Frontiers or just something from the Boost games. I do really want to talk about Sonic as a whole in Smash, so I might save that for a later video. Damn, two predictions down, we've already been just talking about veterans. But what about newcomers, which is something that I'm pretty sure everyone is just here to see. As you can see, there are 9 Smash invitations, 4 predictions for once, and 1 character that I both predict and want to see in this game. So let's reveal what character that I want. I've already talked about putting Meruem in Smash before in a past video, so I will just briefly go over this. Meruem is from the game Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, and it'll be really fun to see some more Metroidvania reps put in Smash. However, there are some things that hold Meruem back, with one of them being that her game franchise Bloodstained is a spiritual successor to Castlevania. So I can really see the Smash team not putting Meruem in at all. And also the fact that her games aren't necessarily that known and popular, I can see quite a few reasons why they won't put Meruem in Smash. But this is why she's in the want category and not a prediction. Let's go back to doing some more predictions, and we'll stick on the somewhat topic of newcomers. In Smash 4 we got the introduction of Miis, who came along with Mii costumes, and some of those costumes were of characters that missed their mark in joining Smash. And in Ultimate, we saw some of those costumes be added to the roster. King K. Rool and Inklings were definitely ones which everybody talks about when it comes to Mii costumes getting promotions. But they're not the only ones to get promotions, as assist trophies also seem to get them. In Brawl, Little Mac was an assist trophy and then became a full character in Smash 4. In Smash 4, Isabelle and Dark Samus were assist trophies and then they got promoted in Ultimate. So my next prediction is that a Mii costume and or assist trophy will be getting a promotion into full-fledged characters. Echo Fighters, they're gonna double down on Echo Fighters and add more. Who could they add? Well, two that come to mind are the Octoling and the Night Constructs from Age of Imprisonment. I really don't see them getting rid of the Echo Fighters, as they have said that it doesn't take up too much production time and it doesn't necessarily take a slot away from a potential other character. They're kind of more like bonuses, and I personally don't mind Echo Fighters. I mean, my main is an Echo Fighter. So it'll be nice to see these characters again and see the Smash team double down on them. Okay, we're going to move away from fighters for a bit, but we're going to stick on stuff that was introduced into Ultimate. Spirits. I don't think they'll be making a return in the next game. Spirits was a fun concept, but I do think it's run its course. Does that mean trophies will return? I don't know. I'd like to see trophies return, but I could also see them adding something completely different. With the way that the adventure mode ended in Ultimate, I really don't see it making sense for the spirits to come back. Maybe we'll get the return of trophies, maybe it'll be another return of stickers, who knows. Okay, we've done quite a bit of predictions already, so let's go and look at the other two. And let's talk about something which I probably want the most out of everything I put on this bingo sheet. And that is that we'll get some new kind of story mode. It may not be on the scale of Brawls, but definitely bigger and better than World of Light. Even if the story mainly consists of PNGs with text at the bottom, and then the big moments have cutscenes, it'd be nice. It'd be good to see the characters actually interacting and talking. But I'd want the stages to be more like Melee's adventure modes, where they were from locations from series in Smash, rather than how the stages were in Brawl. I'd also like to see some more bosses added, like Kraid from Metroid, Hades from Kid Icarus, Wispy Woods and the Death Egg robot, and maybe another legendary Pokemon like Rayquaza was in Brawl. Speaking of Pokemon, I want Quagsire in the game. Now Quagsire doesn't have to be a character, he doesn't have to be a playable fighter, but he could be a Pokeball summon, he could be in the background of the stage, he could be one of the collectibles, I don't care. I just want my favourite Pokemon in Smash in some way, shape or form. Yes, I was running out of ideas and I wanted a funny selection. Okay, new fighter time, and this time it's a character I predict to be in Smash. I definitely see Meowscarada being added over.
This is it!
It's the only way!
I predict that Noah and Mio from Xenoblade 3 will be added. Xenoblade is looking to become a mainstay for Nintendo, so I could see them gaining new reps in every Smash game. With the third Xenoblade game now out, I could see them adding the two main characters from that. Now I don't know too much about Xenoblade or Xenoblade 3 for the matter, because I haven't played it. I am aware of the fusion mechanic, so I can see that being their final Smash. They can either be a Pyra and Mythra situation where they switch, or an Ice Climbers situation where they fight together at the same time. And whilst I don't know much about Xenoblade, I do however know quite a bit about The Legend of Zelda. Zelda content's pretty scarce, especially when it comes to characters and music selection, with most of the music selection just being the main Zelda theme. So exactly what I want to see more music tracks from Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom and even Link's Awakening. I'd like to see some Hyrule Warriors tracks as well. And let's get some more character variety here. Fix Ganon's moveset. Add a new, completely different Zelda rep that isn't one of the Links or an alternative version of Zelda. Even though, if she played differently, I wouldn't complain so much. Actually, you know what? Here's another character I want.
Now my moment has finally come. Brace yourself, Ganon, for the sting of my revenge!
This will be our final opportunity. We will not fail.
Let's go, little guy! Now! Open up wide, Ganon!
100 years in the making. Hold on, Princess. Our moment has arrived.
All 4 champions as one character slot is an idea that I've been on for ages. These characters would switch out and have their own movesets, and they'd all have their own little banter or have their own personalities with their own movesets. And their final smash wouldn't be individual final smashes, instead they'd all share one. That being that they would all board their divine beasts and shoot a laser towards the stage. The champions has become very popular since their first appearance in Breath of the Wild. And who knows, maybe as an Echo Fighter we can get the 4 sages from Tears of the Kingdom. Okay, now I'm pushing it. Okay, we have talked mainly about characters so far. So let's start talking about other things after this next one. We've been talking about characters which I think will be added. But who do I think will be cut? I don't know. But there is one that I am convinced would happen. I'm not saying I want them to be cut. I'd like them to stay. But I think Sora is going to be cut. I think Sora was a one and done. I think that because of how difficult it was to get Sora into Smash for Ultimate, I really see them not adding him the next time around just to avoid that difficulty. That would sting, I understand. I mean, even I would feel a bit hurt about it, and I haven't even properly played a Kingdom Hearts game. But with the way Disney is, I could see it being very difficult, so I'm sorry to say, but I think Sora's cut for this next one. Okay, we've talked about newcomers and just fighters in general so much, so let's take some time away and talk about something else. I spoke about a story mode earlier, but what about other game modes? But one that I'd like to see return is Target Smash. Even if it's like Brawls where everyone just shared the same stage, as long as it's not something like Smash 4's, I really don't care. So please, Nintendo, add Target Smash back to Smash Bros. It just felt weird not having it in Ultimate. We had a home run contest, we had Stage Builder, we had Multi-Man Smash, everything, but Target Smash, it was just missing. And speaking of classic modes in Smash Bros, Classic Mode itself, how it was with Ultimate, with everybody having their own unique Classic Mode routes. I found it very interesting. The only thing that was holding it back was the boss variety. But if we get a new story mode with more added bosses, that can add on to the boss variety. But also be creative with some of the boss fights. Like maybe have a boss fight be a character that's already in the game, that's playable. Okay, we're going back to characters now with 2 more newcomers, with one of them being a prediction. And that prediction being that Ravenbeak from Metroid Dread will be added. I feel like he'll make a good character to be added to Smash. It's a new character from a newer game. Ravenbeak has somewhat become a fan favorite. Ravenbeak's moveset has so much potential to be in Smash, and it'd be nice to have another, not only just another villain, but also a new character which isn't just another form of Samus. So that's why I'm placing in Ravenbeak to be added as a prediction. And so, to a character that I want, if I think Meruem is unrealistic, then this newcomer definitely is. Clive Rossfield from Final Fantasy XVI is probably my second most wanted character to be added to Smash. I could talk all day about moveset possibilities and other things from 16, but maybe that could be a video for another day. Maybe. Let me know if you want to see that in the comments. Anyway, the things that hold Clive back is that Smash only seems to acknowledge that Final Fantasy VII exists. So yeah, even though he's my most wanted, I I don't actually think he'll be in the game, but I want him. That's why he's in the want and not the predictions, just like Merwin. With new characters and even old characters, something that is always added to these characters are final smashes. Wow, what a great transition. And I think they'll get reworked again. I'm not a big fan of how some Final Smashes turned out in Ultimate. Like, I personally like playing as transformation Final Smashes, and please get rid of the Triforce Slash, it just makes no sense. And speaking of reworks, I really hope Smash Bros gets a new look. I'm not a big fan of how Smash Ultimate looks personally, and I think that Smash for Wii U actually looks a lot better. What kind of art style, I'm not too sure. Maybe a completely 2D hand-drawn art style. Or maybe an art style like Mario Wonder would be interesting. I just want the characters to look less static and boring. Especially Sonic. Oh my god, I need to make that Sonic Smash video. Speaking of Mario Wonder though, we're gonna get a Mario Wonder stage. With the Wonder mechanics being a stage hazard. Which actually brings me to my next thing. Yes, that was a very quick transition and very quick topic. Stage hazard customizations. I want there to be some. There are some stage hazards in Smash I wouldn't mind having on stages, where some are taken off. And also transformation stages where you go from like 3 or 2 different locations. I want to be able to pick which location I fight in besides just being in the first location or the second or the last location. I want to be able to pick the second or maybe the third on the Castle Siege stage. Okay, we have 3 more slots before we uncover our final character reveal. So let's reveal the last prediction and my last ones. With my last prediction being...
That pride will be your downfall, Ganondorf!
Rauru from Tears of the Kingdom. If Link doesn't get a Tears of the Kingdom moveset, I can see Rauru being added to Smash and gaining that moveset, especially with the Ultra Hand abilities. If you make Link more about Breath of the Wild and then add Rauru to be more about Tears of the Kingdom, I think it'll be interesting. And you can also add some moves from Age of Imprisonment as well. The Zelda series is in desperate need of newcomers, and if one of them has to be Rauru, then so be it. I wouldn't mind it, but I do think there are other characters that can fill that slot. Alright, my final character I want in Smash. Ori and the Blind Forest is an amazing and beautiful game, and I feel like it deserves a spot among these titans of gaming. Now, I am aware that Ori is playable in Rivals of Aether, but that shouldn't be a reason for him not to be added in Smash. Imagine a stage that takes place in the Blind Forest, and it works like the Minecraft stage, where if you put in a specific combination, the stage will look completely different. And also, some of the music from Ori and the Blind Forest will go amazingly in Smash. And speaking of music, remixes for the Sonic series. I want there to be some new remixes, as we've only got one, and that's Angel Island. And the fact that the Sonic series is quite known for its music selection, and the fact that we've only got one remix from all of that is surprising. Like, the guy's been added in Brawl, and I get why in Brawl he only got one remix, because he was added late. To be added in Smash 4 and then to Ultimate and still not gain a single new remix is mental. It's crazy to me. So I think it's time that Sonic gained some new remixes. And I'm not done with the Sonic content, as it's time for my predicted and most wanted character in Smash, that being Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow the Hedgehog has been making a comeback recently and has been showing that he is just as, or heck, even more popular than Sonic himself. Many wanted him to be an Echo Fighter for Sonic, and I can't lie, I wanted him to be an Echo too. But the fact that, I think now with Shadow having a whole new game, I think it's time to promote that, oh, we want him as an Echo too, we want him as his own full character, with his own complete and original moveset. And so that's why I am putting Shadow in my predicted and wanted selection. And that's it! Those are my predictions and wants for Smash, and don't think this bingo card is going away after this video. Once a Smash game is announced, after each direct or each bit of news that's said about the game releases, I will come back to this bingo card and make another video talking about that, talking about what's revealed, and also ticking off stuff from this bingo card. And I also encourage you guys at home to make your own bingo cards. Honestly, it was pretty fun to come up with my own ideas and my own predictions for what I want in Smash and what I can see happening in Smash. Smash speculation is probably one of my favourite things to do, and I like talking to other people about it, and I like just talking about it in general. So if you enjoyed this video, please let me know if you want to see anything else like this. And with that all being said, have a good one.